22-point loss in Game 3. So it is now a 2-1 New York lead in that best of 7. Boston 20 of 40 from 3 after shooting 25 of 100 in the first 2 games. So what does Vegas say? Vegas now says the Celtics at ESPN Bet minus 300 favorites to win this series despite trailing 2 games to 1. If you look at this, it's really a remarkably telling number. They are a more significant favorite than the Pacers are at this moment to win their series. Indiana is up 3 games to 1. The Celtics are down 2 games to 1. But Boston is a more significant favorite at this point to win the series than even Indiana is in theirs. So I will point out that all 3 of you were at this game. The only person in this conversation who didn't go to the game Saturday was me.
It's okay, Green.
So that's a whole other thing we can talk about a little later. But Windman, I will give you the first words on it. You were there. I feel like you were trying to say a lot last week. This is coming. Like the Celtics just believe these shots are going to start to fall and then it will look completely different. And to me, it might have been as simple as that Saturday. What did you see?
Well, the Celtics are a team of science, and whether you agree with that philosophy or not, the science was telling them there was no way they could keep losing these games. Of course, basketball is not played on paper, and therefore that's why we enjoy it and watch it. But the Celtics were confident that it would turn, and I kind of have worrisome news for the Knicks fans. It actually hasn't really turned yet. There was a couple of Celtics that hit threes, including Peyton Pritchard, who was great. But Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown were 15 of 37 in this game. They were not out of their slump yet. In fact, the 2 of them, who are super high volume three-point shooters, are still shooting 29% on 3 in this series. The Knicks have to prepare for Tatum and Brown at some point to get on track. But the supporting cast for Boston, which is deeper than just about any team in the league, was great in this game. They took the fans, who were awesome. Every seat was full at tip-off, but it took the fans out of the game right from the start, and the Knicks never got any traction.
One of those seats was filled by Jay Williams, who was sitting right by the Celtic bench.
Yeah. Can I give you guys an analogy? I don't know if you guys have ever gone through this.
Is this going to be dangerous?
No, it's not dangerous.
Oh, okay.
And it's a delightful mode, since you know,
okay.
You said I start off the week with negative count. Have you ever gotten in your car and the gas light is on, and you're like, I'm just going to keep trying to push it?
Oh, 100%.
I'll get it there. And then has it ever stalled out on you? I feel like that is the New York Knicks. I really do. I feel like they have pushed the margin in their gas tank, and I feel like it's starting to fade out. And when I say that, he's right. I mean, you talk about Jaylen Brown, 19 points on 18 shots. Jason Tatum, 22 points on 20 shots. They're just starting to find their rhythm offensively, and I feel like I'm watching a New York Knicks team with Jalen Brunson, who spent most of the game leaned over, just being absolutely exhausted. Now, I'm not saying that the Knicks can't have some kind of Herculean accomplishment and pull it out, but do I think that's probable? No, not at all. Just because Karl Anthony Towns looked exhausted. Mitchell Robinson, they're hacking him as soon as he comes in the game. That feels like that's a game within the game itself. Just when he goes to the free throw line. I'm just wondering where they get enough points to compete against a team that's starting to find their rhythm from the outside. That's just me.
I think that's a totally fair question. To that question, I would say that if, and this is to your point, if fatigue is bothering you, then you have a problem when it comes to three-point shooting. But they also shot 22% from 3. For whatever reason, they have not put their best foot forward versus the Celtics yet. And it very well may still come up short. But as a team, I don't think you've seen a total game, and they are well aware of that. They are not making any excuses. Jalen Brunson used the phrase subliminally satisfied, in terms of not being able to manufacture the same urgency that the Boston Celtics had in terms of not trying to go down 3-0.
Just every game they've been down 20.
I agree.
So the down 20, Herculean comeback.
I agree.
Game 2, down 20, comeback.
They have said that.
Game 3, down 20. It just felt like they were trying to kick it into a different gear, but they couldn't get it.
Go ahead, Wendy.
The truth is, Brunson's not having a very good series. He was awesome. Totally transformational in the fourth quarters of Game 1 and Game 2. He's only shooting 38%. And you've got the Knicks as a team are only averaging 95 points a game in regulation. The one game they got up to 108 because they had overtime. They're only averaging 95 in regulation. And as you mentioned, Jay, they're hacking Mitchell Robinson, which is reducing their efficiency offensively. And Karl Towns injured his left hand. He's going to be okay. He's not on the injury report, but he was 5 of 19, largely affected by whatever was going on with that left hand. The Knicks need some offense because I promise you the Celtics offense is nowhere near clicking.
Well, let me just pull Jay's phrase from this morning. We don't care. Like, you are unable to make excuses at this point. And having rolled with this team, y'all know my role, they are not making excuses either. Now, the basketball of it all may very well practically come down to three-point shooting is the headline and the main thing in this series. That very well could happen. But at this point, they have an incredible opportunity because who predicted them to be up 2-1 in the series in the first place? And so if they don't make the most of it now, that'll just be what we have to live with in offseason.
I just feel like this series is over.
You've been saying that since game one, I know.
I'm sorry. It's not because I hate on New York Knicks or I love Jalen Brunson. I know he's been 6 years old, Josh Hart, everybody. I just feel like Boston is a more talented team, and it feels like they're about to kick it into a different gear.
I understand.
Maybe I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, great. I'll eat crow on this show.
Well, no, I mean, I think that you're looking at the odds. The odds makers agree with you. We just showed the Celtics are a pretty significant favorite, down 2-1, and the Knicks still have home court advantage in the series, although, as we've demonstrated, no home team. What's the old expression? A series doesn't start till the home team wins a game?
Right.
After talking to his mom, I want that to be very clear. Outpaced in Indy? Huh? Cavs, 1 seed? Not looking like it. Taking on these Pacers. The ball movement, strong to quite strong. Look at this ball swing. Eventually, swing, All-American reject style to Obi Toppin. Oh! Lay-in was nasty.
Yeah, that was sick, dude.
Julius Erving-esque. We split-screened it. Split-scrung? 45 years ago that day. That was wild. Pacers lead 50-26. Toppin, one of 3 Pacers with 20 or more points. Miles Turner, another. It was a nice find from Tyrese Halliburton. First team with 25 dimes in a half of any playoff game in the play-by-play era. The Pacers were up 26 after that. Kenny Atkinson said complete domination by them. It's kind of the story in every facet. Tyrese Halliburton, a 3. He only had 11 points. This team scored 129 points, and he only had 11. Miles Turner stepping back. Pacers made 15 threes. They shot 43% from distance. Turner again. He had 20 points. He only had 19 across his last 2 playoff games. Pacers outscoring the Cavs 36-15 from the three-point line in the first half. They were up 41 to beat the buzzer in the second quarter. Aaron Nesmith, 129-109. This thing's going to look a lot closer than it was. And it still doesn't look that close. Pacers take a 3-1, the series lead. Our basketball analyst, Monica McNutt, is with us this morning. Monica, top seed in the East, down 44 points at 1 point to the 4 seed. How close are the Cavs to being out of answers, specifically on the defensive end?
Well, historically, they've only come back from 3-1 one time. They're 1-4 in that situation. Look, I think you put an asterisk on this one because the Cavs are clearly not healthy, but they just have not been able to match the energy, the intensity, the urgency, the clutchness of the Indiana Pacers as a collective. I mean, to be down 41 at halftime, like, it looks very bleak in terms of a comeback opportunity. I don't quite understand how they've been so flat after having such a monster year outside of injuries, honestly, Scott.
Yeah, losing your best player, Spider Mitchell, here in the second half for the second half as well. So out west, Nikola Jokic shot worse than 40% just once during the regular season, the entirety of the regular season, and he's been below that mark in each of the last 3 games of this series. How much of that is the Thunder defense?
So percentage-wise, I'm going to go about 65% Thunder defense, and I'll leave the rest of that number just up to fatigue because he's having to do so much and, of course, the schedule of this particular series. I think people got to understand that when it comes to the Thunder, they are so committed to playing together. Isaiah Hartenstein is physical. He's tough. Jalen Williams, that's coming off the bench and playing with him physically, like, they have a game plan to make Jokic uncomfortable, and they've executed it very well, even though these games have been really thrilling in this particular series. You
know what else has been thrilling is this Celtics-Knicks series, 7:30 Eastern on ESPN. We get Game 4. Boston made 23s in the Game 3 win. How can New York make life a little more difficult, at least beyond the three-point line?
Well, they're going to have to stay attached, for one. I think pickup points might have to be higher. And they've got to get back to sort of the urgency that you saw in the runs in games 1 and 2 as far as navigating those screens. They went back to drop coverage some, and they were actually switching when the games were still in Boston, which I think contributed to making some of those threes challenging. But here's the thing, Randy Scott. There still were about 45 open threes by all of the metrics in those 2 games. And so this is a problem that the Knicks are going to have to navigate, and this is essentially what Boston does. So they need them not to shoot 50% and closer to that 25% from 3.
What about the offensive end for the Knicks? If they had to address one thing from games 3 to 4, what would that be?
One, I'm torn between their own three-point shooting and then them getting into transition. They had 18 points in transition in game 2, just 8 in game 3. When they have the opportunity to play fast, I think they're able to get their guys involved. OG Anunoby has been really quiet as of late, but in the same breath, they haven't survived many regular season games when they shoot 22% from 3 themselves.
Yeah, if they get to 18 points, they get 10 more. That makes it a little more binding down the stretch, and who knows, because the Celtics have a way of kind of coming back to the pack in the fourth quarter. Monica McNutt with the insight. Thank you, Monica. All right, listen, tonight, big night for...
Chào cả mọi người đã quay trở lại với kênh của mình. Hôm nay mình sẽ tiếp tục hướng dẫn các bạn làm vòng với tiêu đề là cục sạc. Bây giờ mình sẽ bắt đầu làm. Trời ơi. Ai gọi đeo kính vào xinh gái luôn, nhưng mà thích đeo kính. Ngay ta định đem len nó để tại là đàn, ta không làm hết, nhưng mà thôi ta nghĩ lại mấy bây giờ ta còn nó 500.000.
500.000 bằng tao
Tiền lương nữa.
nghĩ thế thì bình thường này.
Lương về rồi mà giờ còn 500.000, từ 2,3 triệu xuống còn 500.000, tích tắc luôn. Sáng nay ta đóng tiền quỹ lớp nữa, quỹ lớp 500 nữa, hết sạch tiền. Qua chị ta đòi nợ 300 nữa.
Đâu ta soạn tin nhắn của mày mới cho nhắn tin với nhau rồi đi đi đâu đấy, đi chụp ảnh này.
Chị đọc có được không?
Tôi xem không?
Không.
Rồi. Đẹp. Còn châm đó. Đấy đẹp.
Ta đang sạc điện thoại, ta không rút chứ.
Thì tao lại tao xem.
Xem thôi gì vậy. Ta đừng có ngại thằng dưới nó xem được tin nhắn của mày với ta.
Nhắn gì?
Lộ hết. Ta kiểu ta hay nói trong mấy cái nhóm thôi. Ta đâu có ngại nó xem được tin nhắn nhóm thôi. Lộ hết. Đây đi, anh tự suy nghĩ. Em không cần nói ra là
sao cấp dán mất thời gian thế nhỉ? Bảo nhanh lên thì rất là lâu là không hiểu nào mà
cái gì.
cắt dán nó không được nhanh, cắt dán hay lần nào cũng như thế, cắt dán May 922, cắt dán cũng May 9 nhưng mà là 22 video tiếp. Đây không phải làm ăn của mình, là làm 20 video là mang ra tải mà mẹ chịu nhiều phải yếu đâu mà thế mà không làm chậm lắm. Thấy lúc trước quay thì nó quay nhanh lắm, nó quay kiểu bấm hội ấy. Mà vẫn chậm.
Chị Lan Anh là người đầu tiên khen cái áo này đẹp đấy.
Đâu?
Áo này ta mặc đấy. Mẹ ta chê suốt.
Cái đeo đây, đó mẹ tiền.
Mặc nó đấy, bảo mua cho chị đấy. Không phải là xấu hay đẹp, cái quan trọng là ta có mặc hay không. Khói thế khói chứ, mở cửa ra cho nó baby.
Tôi lại bảo là
Nhìn nó bảo xem ngoài hết chưa.
quả vấn đề đây này, không có thể nó mang nó có thể vào đi mua bún đậu vậy ăn.
Ở đâu?
Gọi là bữa một suất, hàng một suất, rau một suất, miếng một suất, chưa một suất.
là đúng đắn với cái gì trụ vực bảo ảnh thôi. Hết tiền rồi còn đứng